Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be trying to repair this water damaged Joy-Con. So this was the left Joy-Con on the water damaged Nintendo Switch that I bought from eBay. That was unrepairable. The right Joy-Con, the neon one, actually works fine from what I can initially tell. But this one is completely dead, and it doesn't just need to charge up. So I've left this plugged in for a couple of hours and it's got no life at all. In fact, when we put it on here, it doesn't even register as a Joy-Con. So normally when you put the Joy-Cons on and off, you will see that it registers that there's a Joy-Con, but with this one it doesn't do anything at all. And even when you leave it on there for ages, it's not actually recognizing that there is a Joy-Con on here. So obviously the water's got into this, and whatever it's done, it stopped it from working. But I want to see if it is possible to repair it or not. So we're going to take it apart and do my very best to see if we can at least get this working, because the rest of the Switch was unfortunately a little bit of a letdown. Okay, let's get started. Some tri-wing screws at the back, so I'm just going to be fast forwarding through the dismantling and we'll see what lies inside. Right, so it looks like there's some kind of corrosion on the screws. Right, first impressions are on the HD rumble. I can see corrosion. You can see it's gone rusty there. And on this track here, you can see a lot of corrosion as well. So I have actually done a Joy-Con before, a water damaged Joy-Con, and I repaired it, but I had to buy parts for it. I had to buy, I think it was this section up here, and also a new analog stick as well, but that was partly working. This one's completely dead, so I think this one's going to be harder to repair. Well, that bit looks okay. Actually, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would do. If you have a very close look here, you can see that a lot of these ribbon cables actually look to be okay. I can see a bit of corrosion here. There's corrosion down here on some of the components, but it's not bad. I'm wondering whether it's just this one here which is faulty, which is stopping it from charging, connecting and everything, because can you see the little metal pins? These are the things here that connect to the Nintendo Switch. So if the corrosion's here, then that does make sense, but the rest of it itself, from first impressions, looks okay. But let's strip it down more and see. There's corrosion on that one there. That looks okay. Again, from the outside it looks okay. I don't know what's happening on the inside. Bit of corrosion, but it doesn't look too bad. The battery's bulged or anything. I think it looks pretty good. So it's just really this connection down here. So let's try to be gentle with this now as we take it out. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I mean, there's certainly corrosion on it, but I don't know. Well, I think I'm quite hopeful at this moment in time. Just going to peel these back, see if there's any corrosion inside. No, they're all perfect. So I would say that first impressions, this is definitely better than the previous water damaged Joy-Con I had, and that was strange because that one was working a bit while this one's not working at all. But like I said, it could be all down to this one connection down here. So what I'm going to do is, I did actually buy an ultrasonic cleaner, which I'm looking forward to using, but I'm not going to use it on this one here because I don't think it warrants it. I think I can just get away with using a toothbrush and some IPA cleaner to try and clean all this corrosion off, and also to try to get some of the corrosion off this one here. But if not, I can always buy a new one of these. It would be worth spending the money on this to fix this Joy-Con. Obviously you've got to be careful about how much money you spend, but right now, at this moment in time, I am hopeful that we can get this one to work. So yeah, I'm going to get my toothbrush out and start cleaning. I'm going to clean everything. I'm going to clean the ribbon cables, the boards, the HD rumble motor here. I'm going to give everything a clean. Cleaning them, I'm just making sure all the ribbon cable connectors are down because they're easy to knock off. And then if you knock off the little flaps that you lift up, then they're kind of ruined. You could put the ribbon cable back in and then put a bit of tape on it. But it'd be better not to break them in the first place. Actually, do you know what? I've got some special brushes to do this exact same job, so I think I'm going to do that now. Right, so I was told about these. I've got a whole pack of them, and they're called an acid flux brush, and apparently if you snip the bristles down, then they're ideal for cleaning corrosion off the board. So what better time to use them than now? So I'll find the viewer's name. It's Andy something. I'll find it in a minute now. But basically what he said is the bristles have, they fall out. There you go. You can already see that these ones are wanting to come out here. So he said, if you super glue, just when you buy them, if you get a load of them out and just super glue them round here and then chop them down, the bristles stay in a lot longer and they're really good for getting corrosion off the board. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. Okay, so here we are. I've chopped the bristles halfway down. It was Andy Fairmond that told me about it. So Andy Fairmond, thank you very much. And if you have a look here, I've just done it as a slight angle, just thinking that it would save me having to go like this. It will work like this, but I'm sure you can do whatever you want. So obviously the shorter you cut the bristles, the harder it's going to be. So kind of the more abrasive it would be. So if they were really short, it might be similar to, for example, like a fiberglass pen. And if they're really long, it's more similar to a paintbrush. So quite a good idea. He said he's used them for years and they're really good. But I haven't put any super glue on them yet. I will do that. I've got a box of 30 in here. They weren't cheap because I got them from Amazon, so I think I had to pay $11.99 or $12.99. But I think you can pick them up from high street stores if you look around. But I don't know if that's in the UK or not. But they're called an acid flux brush. So basically, it feels like a new toothbrush. But problem with toothbrushes is they spread out, you see. But whether this would work out cheaper or not than a toothbrush, probably not. But maybe they're easier to cut down. I'm just going to zoom in on this one here because unfortunately it looks like some of the pads have come away. If you look in the middle there, it's not, the corrosion's gone, but it's taken the pads with it. Right, okay, so this is it zoomed right in. And yeah, that doesn't, I don't think that's corrosion. I think the actual pad's gone. Let's see if I can do a gentle scrape on that. No, look, so this one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, this one's probably not okay, this one's gone completely, that's okay, this one is probably gone, that's gone there, and this has gone here. Right, so really now there's too much gone there. I tried to solder these before and I wasn't successful. Well, the thing is, I haven't got pads here. I haven't got a pad here, and I'm not going to be able to make the pad out of solder. So realistically now, I don't think it's worth me wasting time with this, but it means that I can buy another one because you can actually buy these rails relatively cheaply from China. I'm just going to double check on the price of them, and I'm going to see what spares I have. Right, it looks like I was wrong. So basically, I've got my fiberglass pen out now, and I think it is just corrosion because when I go across here, I don't want to go too hard because I wipe them away, but look, they're coming back. So I don't know now if this is a break here or not, or whether it's just corrosion, so I do have to do it a little bit more. The problem is by doing this I might end up damaging it. I was sure the pads were completely removed, but they're not. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to clean it anymore. I'm going to get my multimeter and see if I can go between here and the pins here. Then that will tell me if they're okay or not. No, it looks like that pad's broken. Right, so it looks like just the one pad is broken, but it's whether that can be repaired or not. So let's zoom right in again. Right, okay, so it's this one here. And what I've done is I've got my multimeter and I just tested from here to the pins here, and it is actually working, so it looks like I have stripped it back just here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the soldering iron on the very low heat with the finest, pointiest tip I have, and I'm going to see if there's any way that I can get a bit of solder to go from here to here. I think it's unlikely because I think the gap is too big, but I think it's worth a try. The other option is to use some sort of silver paint, but again it's so fine here. I mean, it looks big on the screen, that's because it's macroed. I mean, if you look at my finger, you can see the size difference there, and that's why it's so hard to do. Right, let's get set up with the soldering iron. Okay, so I've got the soldering iron set to 250 degrees C. I'm just going to put the tiniest bit of flux just on it there. Problem is I'm not really, oops, too much has come out. I'm not really going to be able to see what's going on. I'm just going to wipe that off because I only want a tiny bit. Even that's too much really, isn't it? Okay, so this is set at 250 degrees C. You can see the tip is absolutely tiny. I'm just going to try to remove some of this flux. Now, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I might try to put a bit of solder on here first of all. I think it's just going to be pot luck if it works. No, it's not working. In fact, is it removing the pad or is that just corrosion again? No, the gap's too big to jump, you see. Right, okay, that's not going to happen, but I wonder whether I could get a tiny little bit of wire, because it does look like I've got a little bit of solder this side, and I've got quite a big blob there, so if I can get a little bit of wire to join the two, then that might be it. I'm talking about like a tiny, tiny strand of wire. So let me see, I think I might use a bit of Cat6 cabling and just the patch cable, you know, so it's stranded and it's got 7 strands per core. I think I might just use 1 strand. From memory, there should be 7 strands in here. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to use one of them. Keep it long so I can grab one side of it. Right, let's zoom right in again. Okay, so I've just wrapped it around the tweezers there. I'm going to keep it long. I'm just going to do one side there, and then I'm hoping I can just get a tap off the soldering iron onto here, and then I can just cut it off. So I've got to do it at the very edge, because remember this connector is going in to an actual thing, so I can't do it out here. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not having it. Yes. Right, okay. Now I have to try and get this side on without breaking it. Can't even see properly. I wonder if that's stuck or not. Annoyingly, there's a lot of flux on it that I'm now going to have to try and clean, and I'm thinking I might end up breaking off the wire when I do that. Maybe I should leave it long, just for the time being. Well, let's try to get this flux off. That might do. I'm going to have to try and snip this wire off now. Now I'm going to do it quite high up because it doesn't matter that it's low down. Excellent. Right, I don't know if it has made a contact or not. It's certainly on there anyway. Let's do a little test on it. Cross all of them again in case I've mucked something up. A lot of them seem to be coming up in the same place, but it seems to be beeping on it now. Right, let's zoom right in and do the same thing again. Right, so it was this one here, yeah? Yes! Amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, if that works, well, even if it doesn't work, I think that has to be my finest bit of soldering that I've ever done. Check that out. So I don't mean to brag, because normally I have nothing to brag over, but look at that. Look at it. That is, do you know what, I'm so happy with that. I could cut that wire down more to make it look neater, but there's no need, is there? I'm so happy with that. Okay, let's get this thing reassembled and then see if it works, see what the problems are, see if it's any different, because maybe it might be a problem with this main chip here or something. So it might, although this is faulty here, maybe there's other issues with it. I've very carefully got to get this ribbon cable into this connector down here. So let's zoom in for this bit. Right, so it's going to be hard to get in because remember I've put solder everywhere. Oh, no! I've knocked it. I wonder is it still soldered or not? Ah, no, it's not. Right, okay, let's put it in and see if I can solder it in. Oh, I can't believe that, and I was so happy with that job as well. Right, well it has gone in there. I might be okay. No, it's come off both sides. Oh, no! Oh, my best bit of soldering I'd have done as well. Obviously it wasn't that strong, was it? It's gone. Gutted. Gutted. Oh no, that looks like the pad's gone completely. I'll have to take it out. No, the pad's still there. Right, I'm going to have to try and solder this again. I don't know whether I'm going to be so lucky this time. No, the pad's gone. Ah! Ah, the pad's gone. Gutted. So close as well. Look at it. Annoying thing. Ah. Oh, honestly, I'm gutted about that. I wonder whether I could try and solder a wire onto the connector, but the thing is, which connector is it? 1, 2, 3. So there's 5 there, but where's the other 5? They must be at the front, are they? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is there 11 connections here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There is, but which one? Which one is my one? Which one is my one? It's a short one. So does that mean, how's this wired up? Well, let's count how many short and long there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the short ones must be at the back, which is better for me. And it is which one along? One, it's the second one along. So could I not just put a jumper wire from there to wherever the pin goes to up here? Could be an option, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? All the way up here. Let's take this off. How annoying, I was so close as well. Because if I'd got it in there, then it's not really going to move around unless it got taken apart again. So I need to find out where this one goes to. So let's see if I can trace the wire. So it's this big fat one, big fat one. Up, 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 up. Up here. Up here. So it's the second one along. Let me just double check that. Yeah, second one along. Okay, that's what I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to put this in. Hopefully I don't ruin any of the others. I'm very lucky that it's one of the pins at the back. I'm assuming it is because there's 5 there and 6 at the front. It sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Is that going to hold? Yeah. So let's get a wire from here and tap it onto there. So I'm going to use some other wire for this. I have to put the soldering iron hotter. I'm going to go up to 300. That's 300 Celsius. It's not having it. I'm going to add a bit of solder to it. I should put a little bit of flux on, but I don't want to have to be cleaning it again afterwards. There we go. By adding leaded solder to it, it brings down the temperature. So it's by adding more solder, because you're adding it to lead free. There you go, you can see now it's melted. Right, I've done it straight at the top because I wasn't really sure about the connections elsewhere. So now I can put this in its place. So that's going to be fine there, that's not in the way. So I don't need all this, but I'm going to leave quite a bit because I don't want it under any strain if it was to ever come off again. I'm going to take the rumble motor out for this. So now I need to go on to the second one down here, don't I? Which is going to be a bit tricky. I suppose I'll have to just try and add a dot of solder onto it. Let's zoom in for this bit because you'll probably want a good laugh. Okay, so the other option is to just run a solder wire from here to here, but I think it's going to be easier to do what I've just done. So I'm going to try to get a dot of solder just onto here. I'm lowering the temperature back down to 250 because I'm using leaded solder now. So I've got to try to get a tiny little bit onto that second pin. No, that's just a big ball. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to try and get that off. Be careful, otherwise what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up breaking the lid off this. I wonder if that track goes anywhere. Can I see where it goes to? That might be better actually. I might not have to do it onto the pin. If I could trace where it goes to. Is it not just one of these big ones here? Let's have a look. That's the first one. It's this one here. Where does that go to? Here. I wonder, would I find it easier? Am I going to be able to get anything onto that end there, I wonder? Well, that looks even smaller, doesn't it? And even more corroded than the other one, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get onto there. I have to go this side, I can't go that side, can I? Because it's going through whatever this is, this resistor or fuse or whatever it is, I don't know. Bit of a toughie. Looks like these two are not used. I wonder, could I get a wire onto there? Maybe I'll try a little bit of flux for this, shouldn't I? Should get a little bit of flux. I think I'd stand much more chance getting it onto the pin though, wouldn't you? This time I'm going to just tin the wire a little bit. I'm never going to get onto that because I can't actually see. I can't even see any. The pads must be underneath, so that's not going to happen. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this connector here, but let's put a bit of flux on it. You never know, now that I've tinned the wire it might stick to it better. There we go, I've got a bit of solder on there now. It's on, I think it's on. Try to close that lid. No, it's off. It's off again. So I've got to do it more flat, haven't I? On, but it's incredibly weak. No, we're off again. I think that's on, and I don't think it's on anything else. That's when we're using tacky flux. It just makes a mess everywhere. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. Right, I am going to have to glue this down because that's not going to want to stay. It's off again. Dearie me. I'm worried that I've shorted the pins 1 and 2 together. Let's get the multimeter and see if they're shorting. Yeah, they are. They are. Right, I think it's gone. I don't know. Well, it looks like it's gone, but it's shorting as far as the meter's concerned. Has it gone? That looks a mess, doesn't it? Oh, look, you've got all those other pins there. I didn't see them before. Ooh. Ah. Yeah, you've got all the other pins so close, so chances are I've probably shorted across them. Let's put a bit more flux on and try to just remove that solder from there. I've got across loads of pins there. I know what's going to happen now. I'm just going to end up melting this lid. Yeah, this is definitely not going to plan. To think I was so close when I was putting in that original when I was putting the original ribbon cable in. This could have been all finished by now. I can't get this solder out. Add some more flux in there. Wick stuck on there now as well. Do you know what? I just thought those connections, the other connections would be going down the front. I didn't think to check the back like this when I tilted it up. Now that bit of wick looks like it's on the correct pin. Maybe I can just connect onto that. It's copper, isn't it? Right, what's happening here now? How many have I shorted? It's the one above, isn't it? Now is not only have I, you know, if I ruin this, which it looks like I have, I now can't actually buy a new rail, so it means I've ruined the Joy-Con. It's only good for using spares for fixing another one, which is a shame, because beforehand I've got a feeling it would have been okay. I just needed a new rail. So this is why sometimes it's best to just, I suppose, use your brain initially and think, well, hold on a minute, a new rail's like £5 or £6. And now I've ruined a Joy-Con, which is like £35. It's such a mess now, I actually can't make anything out at all. I can't even see my original pin anymore. Well, I'm going to flood it with flux. I'm giving up on this soon because I'm not getting anywhere. So I'm going to put a load of flux in it and just try to use the braid. Try to use the braid to get it out. Amazing, that bit of braid there is not coming off. Right, I am not getting anywhere with this. It's just looking worse and worse. So, good news is I got that tiny bit of braid off. Should I just out of curiosity just stick the battery in and see if it does or doesn't connect to anything? I think I should do. I'll leave the rumble motor out. Let's just connect this battery up. I'm really disappointed because I thought this was going to be a worker. Right, let's zoom right out, see if it can be recognised. No, so obviously that one that's disconnected is quite a main one, isn't it? Ah, disappointing. Okay, well, I've got nothing to lose now. I might as well just throw the soldering iron on it, connect to something or other, and then see what happens. I'm going to clean up with IPA because I can't see a thing. That's what I hate using flux for. It's just that it gums everything up so bad, and the light bounces off it, and you can't really see what's going on. I suppose in theory, if I had another Joy-Con with a faulty board, there's a chance you would be able to swap that over by heating the board up and then placing it on there, and there might be a chance, it's unlikely, but if you were maybe to heat it from underneath, I'm not sure what's on the underneath of that bit of the board, there might be a chance you might be able to get that off. go. Just sort of use brute force. Wonder what's that sticking to. There we go. Get rid of that. Broken that one off the pad now, haven't I? Wonder if I can tap that back on. Taking the ribbon cable out at the moment. Mind you, I don't need it to go on there, do I? No, I do need it to go on there, sorry. I do need it to go on there. Because I'm not jumping it to anywhere else. Thinking I've broken a pad, but I should be able to solder that onto there. Oh, do you know, I'm such an idiot. See, this is an experience. Why didn't I just use the fiberglass pen and scrape this here, and then I would have had loads. I would have had loads to go onto then, wouldn't I? See, that is lack of knowledge. Okay, well, hopefully now, see, this is the thing. If somebody told me that, or I read it in the book, that wouldn't stay in my brain. But now that I've mucked this one up, that will stay in my brain now. And hopefully now in the future, I will remember that. Because there's nothing stopping me from just going and scraping the pad, is there? Scraping the, you know, because I've got all this to go onto. There, you see. Let's just see if that's still connecting to that resistor. Yes, it is. Right, well, do you know, I feel more upbeat than I did a few minutes ago because I think they're all separate from each other. I'm just going to check for a short again now. Excellent. Brilliant, they're not shorting anymore. So I'm going to try to solder this onto here and then the wire onto there as well. Right, let's see now if we've got a short between the end of the resistor and this wire here. Let me zoom out so you can see. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Right, okay. Do you know what? It just shows you when... See, that little bit there just went so smoothly and it all soldered up within a few seconds. And previously I was like spending ages on it. So what I'm going to do is, let's close this up and I can put a little bit of glue gun on there if it's working, to try and make it nice and strong. Okay, so you can see what I've done. I've done the jumper wire to the pin, well not to the pin, to the from the pin to the bit I scraped away on the board, and then the jumper wire to the board stroke pin. It's kind of all looped everywhere. Put the wire down this way so it doesn't short against anything else. Do you know what? I think I'm going to put it... I'm wondering if I should put it fully together now. I suppose I do need to get a bit of glue in there, otherwise any knocking it's going to come out. I'm going to take the risk. Really, I should test it first, but I'm worried that wiggling it around is going to make it fall out. And I mean, I did go for the short between there and here, and it was shorting. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue and put it in there. So I'm going to get a glue gun. Right, I'm just waiting for the glue gun to heat up, and I'm just going across it. So basically I'm going from the edge of the far edge of that resistor. And now watch this. If I go to the pins here, I know it's hard to see on the camera, but first pin, second pin, third pin, fourth pin, yay! Fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the rest are not shorting out apart from pin 4, which is really good. And that's on the resistor, not the wire. So, I mean, I don't know if the others are going to be working, and I don't know whether even this board works at all. But as far as that little bit of repair I just did now, it appears to be okay, which is great news. So I'll get back to this when that glue gun's ready. Right, okay, so all I've done is put a huge lump of glue just all over it, and I'm hoping it will keep in its place then. You can see it all down here. Okay, so that's gone hard now. So let's close it up and see what happens. I think I'm going to close it up properly. Okay, let's zoom out. Here we go. Yes, no, or maybe. What do you think? Do you know what? I'm going to be positive and hopeful, and I'm going to say yes, it's going to work. Here we go. Let's listen for that sound. Let's listen for it. Yes! Yes! The £120 water damage Nintendo Switch did not completely beat me. Yes! I got a Joy-Con out of it, and I got a case, and actually I got 2 Joy-Cons, and a case, and a charger. So all of a sudden now, £120 doesn't seem quite so bad. Look at it, charging up as well. There's a little icon there. So let's see, is it actually going to work? Oh, update, here we go. Hold on, I'm trying to do this upside down. Yes, yes. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Right, okay, let's do a button test. It's so hard to use this upside down. Test input devices. Test controller buttons. Yes, 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 yes. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Yes. Come on, click in. The click-in works as well. That didn't work on the other water damaged one. So, that's working. Capture taken. That works. I can't test the buttons on the inside yet because there's not going to be enough charge. I suppose I could try it quickly. Lights are on. But they went off straight away. But the lights were definitely on there. Battery depleted. But you would expect that. It's only been plugged in for a minute. Listen to that. Let me just do that one more time. Ready? Nice. Let's try the analog stick. It centers. What a result. Look at that. And it is actually working okay. Shall I see if it needs an update? Update controllers. Yes, updating controller. Let's see if it's going to work. %, update complete. So now I have to let it charge up for a bit, and then I've got to check that the Bluetooth's working, the vibrations. Well, in fact, I can check the vibration now, can't I? Okay, I'm just playing this here, and I can definitely feel it vibrating. I'm not sure if it's as strong as this one, but I've completely forgotten, and I should know this because I've done so many videos on the Switch. You can do Find My Controllers, so that's exactly what I'm going to do instead. So now, let's first of all see if we've got enough charge on this to test those buttons on the inside. So here we go. Right, light up. Yes, yes. Okay, so that's everything. And if I hit this button down, it should... Okay, battery's gone again. Okay, but those internal buttons work. I'm going to have to... I wanted to do the test the lost controller button. Actually, can you do it when it's on here? Yeah, you can. There you go. Perfect. Right. So the right one is this one. You can hear that. And the left one. Is it as loud? Listen. No. Not quite as powerful. But I don't think that would bother you. So the thing I have to check now is I have to let it charge up. And I've got to check that it's... Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see it now. So it's obviously working via Bluetooth. Yeah, definitely the rumble motor is not as good as it was, but you can see it's connected there and... Oh yeah, it's sideways now, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. It's moving round. So, what a result. There you go. So obviously it is holding its charge a little bit better. It's going to go any second now. And I just want to see if it does the syncing. There you go. Okay, and turn it off by tapping it. Perfect. As far as I can see, everything is working on this one here. There you go. It's flashing because the battery's about to die. What a result. I'm so happy with that. And the reason I'm happy is because I almost gave up there, but then I just used brute strength to get the solder out. Yes, it looks like I ripped the pad in the process, but who cares, because I scraped away a bit more off the board, and then I soldered that onto there, and that gave me a nice big area to solder the wire onto. So why I didn't think about that beforehand, I don't know. But that is lack of experience. Now I think in future, hopefully I will remember that. So yeah, I'm so happy with that now. So even though that switch before was a waste of time, this completely makes up for it. So I know it sounds silly, but I'm happy to pay the £120 for the fact that I got this Joy-Con working on this video, because it just feels so good. So now all I have to do is give it a nice clean up because it's a little bit grubby, and then that is hopefully one lasting Joy-Con. Good news is the plastic thing here is still immaculate on the inside. There's no cracks on it, so we're not going to have a worry about it coming off the Nintendo Switch. Can you see there? So that doesn't need changing over to a metal one. I can feel it vibrating in my hand now as I'm playing Mario Kart here. There we go. I don't think personally that Joy-Con has had a lot of use. I think it looks absolutely perfect. And just quickly check all the lights are working. There you go. Perfect. Right, so happy with that one. Showing the actual video that motion controls work as well, so if you have a look you can see there. Right, okay, back to the video. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, I appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Again, apologies for the length of it, but I like to show the things that are going wrong because it is real life. Remember, I show the failures as well as the successes because this is still a massive learning curve for me. And although I am learning, it's a sort of very slow process. And realistically, on electronics like this, I'm pretty sure people learn probably most of their life. And even if they've been doing it for 15 years, I bet you still learn things most days of the week. So yeah, so good. Right, okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye now.